Today we're going to be looking at this tree here, and I've stood really far back so you can get kind of an idea of the grandeur and the size and kind of the structure of this particular tree. So quite large, generally kind of one major trunk going up, and as we get closer we can have a look at some of the other features. So this tree is a native BC tree, and it has some distinctive features, including the bark and the buds we can have a look at. So let's start by looking at the bark. So this particular one is quite an old tree, and you can see that the mature bark is really well developed and is quite craggy and thick and plated, and also has lots of moss on it. If we look at some of the branches coming out of it, you can see the younger bark is much less craggy, more smooth. If you look up too, you might see a bunch of dead branches. So this particular tree is known for dropping and losing branches quite frequently. One of the great ways of identifying this tree is also the buds. So the terminal bud, or the bud at the end of the branch, is quite long and pointed. The buds along the main stem are also very long and pointed and quite flat to the stem. And I know I can't describe smell on a video, but the smell from these is quite strong too. So if you kind of rub it in your fingers and take a whiff, it's quite strong, quite pungent. I personally think it smells kind of nice, but a lot of people don't agree on that. So depends what your sense of smell is like, I guess. So what we're looking at here is a black cottonwood, and the buds, like I said, are helpful. The bark can be helpful. You often find them in more natural areas rather than planted as street trees. The bark sometimes can look similar to a big leaf maple, which you'll also find in the same kind of natural areas. But a big leaf maple tends to be more what they call decurrent, which is where it has kind of a major spreading kind of habit, where instead of this one kind of major stalk that the cottonwoods generally have. So if it has big trunks that are spreading out from each other, it might be a big leaf maple instead of a cottonwood. Yeah, and I guess one of the things that they'll be doing soon, or just about in spring here, is they'll be sending out that cottonwood fluff, and that'll be happening quite soon. On the ground here I have some old branches, so you can see that it, like I said, it sheds branches quite vigorously, and there's a few leaves on the ground here, but not much left after the winter. So the leaves can be sort of helpful. They're kind of spade shaped with a pointed tip, and you can see that there's some interesting kind of looking compressed stems on the thicker, older branches as well. So those can be helpful traits for identifying this tree as well.